We're in the dungeons of Saint Vitus. First night of 2 nights. First time ever you ever play Saint Vitus after you play Australia. Why what made you like come back from Australia to play Brooklyn? I know
we had the offers from Brooklyn before we had Australia, so that was already booked, and we went and did Australia and came back here, man. A little bit of jet lag, but we're all right.
just a little bit, right?
Yeah, a lot bit.
You know, obviously, Eyehategod has always been an extreme metal band, and I think after especially what you survived during the last 24 hours as far as like playing and then coming and playing here, I mean, not many bands can do that, bro. Like, honestly.
We had a night off, you know. I mean, we got in last night. We slept all day. I mean, we're fine, dude. I mean, we're a little older than your average band. That's about it, you know.
And I gotta ask you, obviously, I mean, everybody knows you, obviously, from Eyehategod and other projects, and of course, Down. New EP came out recently. You did a huge national tour with Down, as far as like having a tour bus, having your own like accommodations. Now you kind of have hustle and bustle. So how does that differ for you as like a musician, like the different mindsets? You know what I mean, of being on the road.
It's just there's two different animals to me, you know. I mean, down is down, and Eyehategod is Eyehategod, and it's easy for me to switch in between the two, you know. Just I love playing drums, and I love playing guitar, and I love everybody in Down, love everybody in Eyehategod, and just I feel blessed, dude. Feel blessed, you know. And I get to do what I get to do, you know.
Which instrument did you started playing first?
I started playing drums first. I didn't pick guitar up till I was like 18, so. But I only have 4 strings on my guitar, you know. It is what it is, man.
Was it out of necessity that you like had to like so all of a sudden abandon a guitar playing? You're like, all right, I play drums, but now I gotta learn how to play guitar.
Well, I kept hearing in my head, you know, what I wanted to hear, and I was in Crowbar at the time, and that wasn't happening. So we started Eyehategod, you know. It's just we started that band as just a joke, something to do. Eyehategod, and I mean, it's amazing that we're here playing 2 fucking nights. We just got back from Australia. If you'd have told me that 20 years ago, I'd said, "Fuck you, man. It's not happening," you know. But I mean, dude, we're blessed, dude. For a band called Eyehategod, we're pretty blessed.
And pretty widely known, as you said, and being, again, captains of the underground. And as I said before, the fact that you flew from Australia to do this is like, other bands would be like, oh, we need like a few days off. But you guys, no, let's fucking keep doing it.
No, we're going to studio 2 days after we get home, so we're rolling, dude. You know, days are getting shorter and fucking hairs are getting grayer. So it's time to roll, bro. It's time to roll.
So it's gonna be a full record, because I know you released New Orleans and New Vietnam recently. So is this gonna be like?
It's not gonna be no 7-inch. It's gonna be a full record, and we're gonna record we're hoping around 15 songs. So we're gonna have some songs to, you know, a lot of stuff to put out there. You know, we haven't really decided how we're gonna put it out, but we are gonna do it, and soon.
And it's gonna be back home, of course.
Yeah, we're recording in New Orleans with Billy Anderson. So it's cool to have Billy back on board. He did Dope Sick for us, and you know, and so to come full circle and have Billy back in again, you know, it's just gonna be cool, man. We just want to have fun and do the record, and you know, it should be killer, man.
And let's get back to the Down subject. Obviously, no EP is out. What did you guys decide to go into, like, you know, do a series of EPs instead of like doing a whole record?
Because we wanted to display more of what Down's capable of. Like Down 2 is you know, to me is like a very eclectic record. There's a lot of different styles on there, and so if we can take EPs and break those styles up, you know, and try and put it out that way, you know, and the record companies love the idea as well. So it just worked out perfect. At the end, all 4 EPs will come together to mean one thing. And it's a great idea. Pepper came up with the idea. It's a great idea, and just something new to do, and also something to where we don't release records every 7 years, you know. We can do it maybe like every year, you know, because before we would release a record and then we'd fucking tour for 3 years, you know, tour the world. That takes a long time. So, you know, now the thinking is, you know, record, do a couple tours, go back in, do another record. We're all set up at Phil's, you know, Nod for Ratu's Lair. Studio's all set up. That's where we did the EP at. So, yeah, looking forward to that, man. Should be.
And you did Down 2 there as well.
Yeah, but different gear.
Right.
We rented a bunch of gear and brought it in. Now we have, you know, Philip's got like his own studio going on and all that. And it's a beautiful thing, man. You can bring bands in there. You feel comfortable. It's a good vibe, you know, and just in order to let the band get in there and do what they do, you know.
And like what you're doing as far as bringing bands like HAARP and of course WARBEAST with you guys, because obviously from the core of what you guys represent and believe, because you did obviously a bunch of tours just down, and of course later on with the Melvins. Now you also have your brothers in Saint Vitus. But I think it's cool that you guys are kind of like saying like this is the next generation of music, no matter what is going on.
We're not really saying anything. We're just bringing out bands that we think people should hear, you know. And obviously, I mean, we could pretty much bring out anybody, you know. But that's how much we love our city and what's going on in our city. And it's fun. It's fun to bring bands out from New Orleans and let more people hear what's really going on down there, you know. So it just seems to work. Seems to work, man.
And I know Down 3 Over the Under was hugely influenced by Hurricane Katrina after, like, obviously we know Mike went through a lot of hardship, a lot of your friends, a lot of brothers. And I'm sure after you heard, like, what happened here in New York, you're, like, so related to it.
Yeah, was worried about you guys, man. You know, but, I mean, we also said, you know, it's going to take a lot more than Hurricane Sandy to kill New York. That's for damn sure.
Let's talk about the NFL right now. The Saints. What's up with the Saints right now, brother?
Dude, I've been so busy. I haven't been able to really keep up with it. But, we think it's a conspiracy, man. When you got a Super Bowl in New Orleans, you don't want New Orleans to play it. You want another town to come in and spend money. That's our theory. You know, that he put all this bounty shit on us. We broke a lot of records last year, you know. I'm not as up on the Saints as I should be, man, but I've been traveling a lot. But when I get home, my brothers will set me up and tell me what's been happening, you know.
No, you're definitely busy. I know that, man, for sure.
Obviously, you know, the games, you know, I think we won the last 5 or 6 or something like that. I don't know. I'm not quite sure. But, and I don't know, do we still have a wild card shot? Do you know?
Yeah, you do.
We do.
Yeah,
hey, we're going to make it. We're going to make it.
Dude, like, but there was no blood this time, man.
What do you mean no blood?
Because remember last time before the current show, you know, the current tour with Down, when Pepper hit Phil with a headstock.
Yeah. That shit like that's going to happen, you know. Phil hits himself in the head anyway and makes himself bleed anyway, man, you know, so.
All right. Any final words for the fans of obviously Eyehategod and Down watching right now, especially like the kids that maybe you're like, hey, how do I get to that like position that you're in? Because I mean, obviously, you're a great drummer, great guitar player, and two great, very different bands. Most importantly, very different bands.
Thank you. I just work hard, believe in what you believe in, and don't believe anybody else but yourself, man. That's the only person that can do it for you. You know, if I can do it, you can do it. Trust me.
Amen to that, brother. Jimmy, thank you so much.
Thank you, brother.
You guys make sure you check out the new EP. Because, I mean, it's still new by Eyehategod entitled New Orleans is New Vietnam.
The 7-inch, yeah.
The 7-inch. New records coming out sometime next year, I would imagine.
Yeah, sometime next year, yeah. We're going to record when we get home, so.
And the purple EP by Down. And the next one is going to be, what, the pink EP?
Oh, I hope not. I hope not.
All right, brother. Have a good time.
Like, thank you for your time, man. Appreciate it, brother.
Of course, brother. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Stay
When I sign off. And, hey, big shout out to Saint Vitus for doing something very different from everybody else, you know?
Gotta love a bar called Saint Vitus, dude. Got to. All right.
Cool,
Thank
brother.
you, my man.
Thank you.
Stay heavy.
Hell yeah, brother.
This is Keith from Harp, and I need you to put your horns up.
Why don't we start and let's talk about the inception of the band when Harp began. I mean, way before now that everybody has heard of you guys, you know.
After Hurricane Katrina in 2005 or 2006, all of our other bands disbanded, and we all got together because we didn't have bands anymore. We got together, jammed, and came up with the band.
So who are the members in the band, and which bands were they in before Harp?
Sean and I were in Rat in a Bucket, grindcore band. Grant was in Decapitator, black metal band, and Brett was in Spickle and a few other punk bands in the scene.
And it's cool because you all have a signature sound already established, you know. And
right. Everybody had their own genre of music that they played, and it wasn't similar to what we do now. And now we all mix all those different styles together and form our band.
And finally, the new album is out. I'm sure you're very excited to finally be like, all right, now we got the album out, and now we can play new songs and keep growing from there. Because I know that's always, for a band that's starting out, it's definitely a hard moment when you have to be, all right, from the moment you start recording to the moment you put it out. Once you put it out, you can actually like relax a little bit and, you know, make sure.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of a reward. It's stressful, but it becomes rewarding at the end when you put all the work in and you're not sure what's gonna go on, and then all of a sudden the album comes out and it's out now. We're doing this tour to support it, and it's fun.
Want to tell us about the thematics behind the album, like what the influence were, the headspace you guys were as a band when you were working on it?
Well, musically, we just tried to expand on our sound that we were doing for the first record, and just, show a few new influences, like, put a few more speed parts in there, Slayer, Celtic Frost, things like that. And lyrically, we played off of a few things we had read literature-wise, and it's about, like, awakenings, characters having awakenings and reaching a point in their lives where they have to see what they become from what their choices were,
And how does it feel to be on a tour with so many legendary bands? Of course, Down, of course, Saint Vitus, and your label brothers, where you kind of like been growing together in WARBEAST,
It's awesome. It's fun because you get to see the people on the top who've done it and understand. You get to see the people who are like us, and we're just working our way through it. And everybody's nice, everybody's really cool people, and there's no problems. It's fun, and it's really cool to watch people who you respect play music and watch you play they'll watch you play your set at the same time,
Let's talk about the influence of Phil and Down on you guys, especially, because Phil as a producer, because a lot of people out there, of course, know him as a singer,
right,
as the lyricist, as the vocalist of Pantera, of course, Down, of course, Superjoint. But as far as a producer, how was that experience working with Phil as a producer? Because that's obviously a completely different mindset for him, of course.
Right. Well, when we have our music, when we go in the studio, we're ready to record. Everything's written and ready to go. He's more of a guiding voice, someone who tells us, like, the take sounds right or doesn't sound right, as opposed to somebody who helps us write. But, like, we'll jam the songs, and he's heard them before on demos, and he'll tell us whether it sounds good or the take is good or not, and that's how he helps us. He helps the strings and the vocals more than the drums, but I don't know about that, because I play the drums, and he usually tells me good take or start over, which is
the normal method, no, nothing crazy.
Right.
And after this tour, what's in the agenda for you guys? Because obviously for the next 2 years, you got to support this record wherever, and I think this tour obviously is going to be a great platform for you guys to be like, all right, do other, bigger,
right,
better tours.
Well, right now we're still writing. We've already written another song, and we have another half a song done. We're gonna do some 7 inches for House Call Records, and after that we'll record a new album and tour for it.
Keep going and going and going and going, of course.
I always got to keep writing and keep writing new material.
And Keith, for anybody who hasn't heard HAARP, hasn't heard the new album especially, let's tell them, why is setting apart HAARP from, like, there's a lot of good music as we know, but what do you think has, like, of course, we said it before, they have different members of different bands, and through, like, tragedy was like a triumph out of tragedy, and that's obviously a big influence in the band. But as far as, like, the music behind it, which is what really comes down to the music, what is the music of HAARP, what is setting them apart from, like, everybody else?
I think the merging of different personalities who all come from heavy metal, and who all love heavy metal in its different shapes and forms. We all come together in one band, and I think that kind of gives us an edge or a little different shake on how we do it. And I just think the fact that we all have different personalities and influences and appreciations and tastes makes us form our own version of what we think heavy metal should be in a different way. I think that makes us a little different.
And do you think, like, the whole progressive metal wave influences you guys as far as being, like, completely kind of against the grain in a way? Because I think the southern metal, especially, like, bands like Pantera, of course, have always been about the rebellious, like, when that's going down, we're gonna do this. And, but not to go against it or anything, but it's like, it's only natural, like, to be like, all right, we're gonna do something to blow their minds.
To be honest, we do what we want to do, and we don't really pay attention to things like that. And I'm not, not trying to be cliche or anything like that. It's just we write in our band room, and we don't pay attention to other things. So if it turns out like that, cool. It's a good coincidence. If not, you know, we would always write what we want to write. So.
We're gonna sign off. We're here in the Best Buy Theater in New York City. I want to thank Keith from HAARP and of course all of HAARP for coming to New York.
Right.
You guys are always welcome back. You know, always come back. Next time you come on tour, we'll make sure we plug that for you guys. Make sure you know, people show up. And most importantly, for everybody watching, make sure you buy the merch. The new album is out right now. They're all over. You know, just Google HAARP, and you'll find them.
HAARP NOLA.
Thanks, brother. Nice to meet you. Appreciate it, man.
Joe.
Jimmy, man. Nice to meet you.